definitely necessary to understand the nuances and the reasons why, you know, centralized platforms or centralized databases versus decentralized, why sometimes it's not always, like, not everything fits into the decentralized model, not everything works efficiently. You know, it's not a one size fits all kind of thing. And I think most, like, reasonable people would agree with that. So I'm kind of glad you covered that, because I imagine you know, you probably, like you said, you'd had a lot of questions about that, and it is something that, especially diehard crypto people, that you know, they might be, like, skeptical of.
Yeah. Yeah, I think and also this is interesting because, you know, a lot of the people who really started crypto, I think they had to be like libertarian or anarchists, right? To really buy into that idea. Like the first movers, like, I think we're very much bought into that idea. And, you know, in those communities, there's this idea that, um, like, or there's a misconception that all monopolies are due to government pressure or regulation, right? So, and that is true. Like, you see a lot of like anti-competitive behavior arise in like monopolies, and they use the government as like a weapon, as a club, to say like no more competition, like make it harder for a new entrant to join, et cetera, et cetera. However, like, that is true and that does happen. But on the flip side, there's also plenty of natural monopolies, right? So if you let a market go unchecked, like absolutely no regulation whatsoever, some markets tend to monopolizations, right? Like they just go that way
I mean,
naturally.
just look at Bitcoin, right? Like,
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
natural, that arose naturally, and it's obviously the dominant cryptocurrency by a mile,
Exactly.
and government had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just in that space. It can be like in any market, anytime. Like, you have economies of scales that develop, right? That just allow you to do things cheaper than a new entrant, right? You have more reach, you have brand, right? Like, there are things that happen just in like a natural economic system that just create advantages for scale. And in some markets, that wins out. And so I think the idea that like centralization is like a bad thing that's only created through like some sort of government entity and things like that, I think is a misconception. And so, like you said, I think things need to be like analyzed on a case by case basis, right? Like whether someone's centralizing because they want to rug you essentially, right? Or someone's centralizing for like a real reason, right? Like a real market reason. And I think like defending that and really like explaining the difference between the two is pretty important, and can sometimes like uh, go the wrong way, right? Or the messaging can be off sometimes. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like it's okay to be centralized. I think what's more important is that you be transparent. I think that's what people actually want. Like, I don't think people mind that some like there's some concentration of power as long as they know like what are the implications of that,
Hmm.
and what are like the things that can happen because of that.
Unchecked governments have eradicated privacy and truth. Those who resist are brought down swiftly, but we refuse to submit. Unipunks are freedom fighters, protected by encrypted shadows. The future we're building is sovereign and uncensorable. The moonlit night is coming.